Hey everybody, I want to start out this episode by saying thank you for tuning in for another fabulous episode of The Salt Shaker, and thank you for tuning in for every episode you've sat down to listen to. If you've enjoyed this show and you'd like to show some continued support, you can head on over to our Patreon and subscribe for as little as $1 a month. The reward benefit for that $1 a month is you get to listen to the episode a couple days early on Saturdays each week, as well as some other exclusives and behind the scenes on projects that I'm working on. Thank you again for all of your continued support. It means the world to me, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And welcome back to another episode of The Salt Shaker. Everybody, today I am joined by, she is a new friend to me, but I'm sure many people know her from MagicCon and some of her content. So, how do I put this? She is opening an LGS, all right? And it is called Cthulhu's Gaming Den. Did I get that right, Sammy? It's Cthulhu's Gaming Den, right?
Cthulhu's Den Gaming.
I got it back. I'm sorry, everybody. Cthulhu's Den Gaming. I'm so terribly sorry. I really thought it was.
I mix them up a lot. It's fine. I just added gaming into it, so
Gotcha.
It's still newer.
Gotcha. Because I thought it was Cthulhu's Den for a while.
That's all it's been, yeah.
Gotcha. And then you're also on Instagram and socials as Unseen MTG. Is that right?
Yes.
Perfect. So, before we talk about the absolute chaos that I'm sure has eaten up most of your life trying to open a game shop, let's start at the beginning. What got you into Magic the Gathering?
So, I started playing a really long time ago, probably like 2005, and then life lifed, and you put your cards down and you don't pick them back up for a while. And then last year I was dating someone and he was like, "Hey, have you ever played this game?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I was getting ready for my upcoming surgery and I knew I was going to be off for a while. And so we kind of we picked it up as a way to, keep my time busy, and it did. And so back in May, I also ended up buying out my shop. So it all just kind of flowed together and, worked out that way. So I started playing again in like November of last year. Not this past year, but last year.
Gotcha. Now, when you say you bought out your shop, you mean like the shop you're opening, or you mean like you bought out an entire LGS worth of stock?
I wish. That would be amazing. No, I used to build furniture, and I had like my own paint line with that chalk paint that everyone did to make your furniture like distressed. And so that's kind of how it happened into this building. And so it was an old wood shop, which is part of the reason it's so messy.
Sure.
But back in May, I only had a few payments left, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to pay it off. And I had, like I said, I was off work, and I had a little bit of downtime. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And I did it.
Hell yeah. So before we started the show, I asked you to just, for the sound check, to give me your 3 favorite commanders. And I know, I'm sure with, normal job and getting the LGS open and just life in general. I mean, I find it difficult myself as well to even sit down and play a game lately. But so you talked about Narcy, Atarka, and then what was the third one?
Raynar.
The
Ever Watchful. He's so fun.
Yeah, that was one of my first pre-cons that I ever picked up. It was a lot of fun. I was like, "Oh, I want to get one of the Kaldheim ones." Oh, I can't. Nobody's selling the Elf one anymore, and I'm not paying the aftermarket price for it. So I guess I'm getting this one.
Kaldheim is so much fun. I love that set.
It's got such beautiful artwork too.
Yeah,
and I know it'll probably be a while before we go back there because it wasn't the most popular of planes or the most popular of sets. But I really loved the artwork.
Which is so surprising. Someone else mentioned that to me recently, and I am always surprised because I enjoy it so much. Between the art of it and just some of the cards in it are amazing.
Oh yeah, like all the god cards from Kaldheim were just phenomenal.
I also like enchantments and things, so I feel like that's also a reason I love it so much. I tend
There's
to
a
get
lot of
some
good
really,
sagas in there, yeah.
yeah, exactly. I tend to pull really good ones out of it every single time. I'm like, I'm not mad about this.
So you got what they call hot hands, right?
Sometimes, or it's really bad. I will go through phases where I'm like, yeah, I got some great things, and I'll go through phases where like, please don't let me touch a pack.
Like please, like somebody else. I will buy the pack, but please somebody else crack it for me.
I do that a lot. Yep.
I do it a lot too. And then this new group of friends I'm like starting to hang out with more. They were like, "Oh, Eddie, all we do is crack packs for fun." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. I'm gonna go buy some." And then I bought a box of Modern Horizons 3. I bought a box of Kaldheim, Duskmourn, Bloomburrow, Innistrad Remastered, and Murders at Karlov Manor. Different game, Eddie. Different game. Tarkov is not Karlov.
No.
But I opened them and I was like, oh, I also opened a box of Lord of the Rings set boosters. I managed to get my hands on a box of those. And I pulled out of my box topper was a foil Balin's Tomb. And I also pulled an Orcish Bowmaster and a couple other things. But
nice.
It was like, yeah, cracking packs is nice. And then I went to go buy another box after doing all that. And I pulled $23 worth of cards.
Oh, jeez.
I was like,
That's terrible.
I
feel like that's my Bloomburrow pools right now. I bought a Bloomburrow box forever ago, lost it, found it again, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to slowly open this. And I swear every single one I get, I was like, what is wrong with me?
It's like maybe this
whole
is a
damn box.
sign.
Got a
Maybe
whole
this
damn
is a
box.
sign, like not to open packs.
Yeah. Everyone tells me singles are the way to go, but my brain is like, you need this pack, though.
You need the dopamine rush.
I do.
Is what it
all
is.
the time.
Listen, everybody, the world's on fire. Just do the dopamine rush, right?
Just get the packs. It'll be fine. You'll find your card eventually.
Right. Money is temporary. Cracking packs is even more temporary.
A little bit, but still a lot funner.
It's that minor rush, right? When you're like, what's this card behind here? Oh my god! And then you open the next pack and you're like, man, this is shit. And then the next pack, oh man, this is
I
shit.
figure I could gamble and lose my money, or at least could get some cards out of it.
Yeah, I told my wife, like, so the reason I mostly stick to singles, like, those were like the first booster boxes I had ever bought, and I've been playing this game for a couple of years now. And I was like, there's a reason I don't buy booster boxes, because it's gambling, one. And two, why spend $150, $200 on a booster box when I could spend $150 to $200 on cards I actually need? You know?
Yep.
And then I won't have thousands of cards worth of bulk that just now sit.
Oh, that's what I've been doing now. When I first started playing again, I got really lucky to an extent. It's also probably one of the worst ADHD events of my life, but I went on Marketplace on Facebook, and there was a guy selling his bulk off. He had traded some of his better stuff for, like, he started playing Pokemon, I think, or something. I don't know. But he was like, just take the rest. So when he opened his trunk, first off, it was just thousands of cards. And I was like, this is awesome. Then I brought them home, and ADHD Sam was like, this is not awesome. You have to go through all these things. And I have still yet. It has been a year and 5 months, still gone through all of those cards yet.
Right. Because the worm, the parasite in your brain is like, ooh, cards. And then the reality check's like,
nope.
Fuck.
I'm not touching these.
I gotta organize these. Nobody told me that.
I do have them at least by Keller and things like that now, which is a huge help. But it's also like I'm trying to get my MTG or my TCG page together. So I'm like, you need to go through these. But my brain is like, it's so many cards. You don't want to go through these.
So all the bulk that I pulled, I have it at least organized by rarity. But yeah, I was like, I ain't about this life. Like, I should not have done this. This was terrible. This is probably the worst idea I've had.
I never thought to do that when I first got it because I was so new again to the game that I never even thought about. I knew rarity, but I never thought about it. So now it's all mixed in, and I have a couple friends that'll help occasionally go through the bulk, and they'll pull stuff out and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'll be like, "What?" They're like, "This is $100 card." I'm like, "I didn't even know it existed. It's fine. It's fine." And they're like, "This is not fine." I'm like, "It's fine."
They're just like,
It's
"Oh,
like
hey,
it
by
was
the
safe.
way, here's a copy of Gaia's Cradle at the bottom of your garbage can.
They're
And
like,
you're just
this is safe.
You're just like, oh yeah, that's no big deal. Find
Like
3 of those a week.
I had the Meat Hook Massacre double feature version in my bulk, and I was so mad when Meat Hook came back out, and I was like, I just want it, and I was like going through my bulk, and I was like, ooh, look, I have it. I was so excited, but I was like, what the fuck, Sam? Just
You're
chilling.
like, God damn. Like,
Oh,
like
living my best life. It's fine.
oh man, you know, sometimes I wonder, like, maybe if like I didn't kick myself off Adderall in my early 20s, that maybe I'd have a little bit more like
No.
organization in life. But
No.
then I realized maybe I just wouldn't be as fun of a person.
I would definitely not be as fun of a person
Right?
at all.
I'd be like, yes, taxes.
My
I don't know why it's the taxes, but like,
Oh, fuck the taxes. That's why, because it's ADHD and taxes are the worst.
I hate fucking taxes are the worst.
Like, I did a thing today. What? My taxes, and that's all I did.
Oh jeez. Oh man. Was it like taxes for like just like your actual like human person taxes? I don't fucking know.
It's everything. All of the things.
All of the things. All of the things. So you're playing Magic, and you just sit there and you're just like, ugh, I'm gonna open an LGS.
It's kind of how it happened.
Kind of how it happened. I mean, I think ultimately, like, that's the goal of every card player ever, is to open their own game shop, right?
Yeah.
But logistically, I know it's an absolute fucking nightmare.
It's a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare. Well, to be fair, that's only kind of how it happened. So, like I said, last year I was off for a very significant amount of time, and to be
Right.
fair, I love my job. My job, I work with kids with autism. I run residential group homes for kids coming out of mental health hospitals and RTFs and long-term treatment facilities, stuff like that.
I know what an
And
RTF is.
nice, not a lot of
Because
people do.
my wife did that for quite a few years. So,
Yes. So it's a hard place for kids to be. It's hard for anybody, but let alone a kid who has, some kind of diagnosis that is hindering them for even the basic social understanding sometimes, and it's not their fault. So like we're putting them in situations that are just making them worse, to be fair. And so like my job's very taxing. It's very long. I have very long hours. I'm on call 24/7 even though I'm the boss. Like it's just a lot. And so back in April when I had my surgery, I was like, what am I supposed to do with time off? Like I don't even know what to do with myself. Like it was bizarre. Like not having to like wake up to an alarm and then actually getting to do things and spend time with people. Like it was bizarre. It was fun. It was a good time. But like I said, I was closing on this building, and to be fair, when I first started buying out the building, my first thought wasn't, oh, I'm going to open this, local game store. It was, oh, I'm closing this building. What should I do with it? And I was sitting on a stream. When I was off for a while, I was watching a lot of drip streams because, you could watch like people pull cards, and I couldn't leave my house.
Sure.
I wasn't allowed to drive for over a month by myself. So like I couldn't just leave my house. So it was like I could buy cards off drip and watch everybody and things like that. And so I was sitting there and I was like, what can I do with this building? And I was like, you know what? I want to do stuff like this. I want to be able to bring people together. That is my goal of my shop, overarching everything encompassed. Like at the end of the day, even if it wasn't like a game store, like I want to bring people together because our world doesn't have enough of that anymore. At the end of the day, we're all behind a computer screen. We're playing spell table. We're, watching drip or whatnot and things like that. And then how do you ever find your creativity sometimes? It's not always behind the screen. It's meeting people, it's talking to people, it's listening to other people's experiences and things. So, um, that was my biggest goal. And I figured the easiest way, not the easiest way, but one of the funnest ways for me at least to do this would be a local game store. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how that got started.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, and that's honestly such a great idea too, and kind of like how you brought it all together. You were, because like most people when they're stuck at home, and everybody can relate to being stuck at home, not being able to leave the house. We've
Yeah,
literally
all been
every
through
person,
COVID.
we've all been through that.
Yeah.
Most people's minds just spiral, but you took the isolation, you took the not being able to leave the house aspect of it, and you're just like, what if? What if I did this? And what if it works?
Yeah. I'm excited. Now, if it works, that's still to be seen, but I'm excited either way.
Now, where are you located? Where's the shop plan on being located?
So it's in a place called Jeanette, Pennsylvania. It's right outside of Pittsburgh. It's about 35, 40 minutes without traffic. You always have to say that with Pittsburgh. Everything is traffic. Everything is traffic. But yeah, so it's like right out in Westmoreland County, PA. So.
Okay. So that is a 5-hour drive for me.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, not at all. So I'm up in Binghamton, New York.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely on the way that way, but
It is.
but if a mutual friend of ours, if Wild decide, I'm assuming when the grand opening eventually happens, Wild will be making the trip.
Better
So
fight him. He
maybe
made half my artwork. He better.
I know. Let's talk about that for a second. So he is a phenomenal artist.
He really is.
And then when I saw what he did for your shop, I was like, that is amazing. Everybody, I'm going to, in the episode link, I'm going to link the art that Wild did for Sammi. So that way you guys can go see it. I'll link her Instagram page too in the bio. So that way you guys can go see all the progress and everything else. But like the art that he did for shop is just beautiful.
Oh, he killed it.
Oh, he did.
He's been absolutely, I will give him credit because first off, me as a person, I'm a squirrel. I have a lot of ideas and very little filter. So like I just go at 100. And I will give him all the props in the world. He takes me in stride, and I really do appreciate him as a person because I'm like, I have this idea and I need help, and here's all my words. And like, I just throw a lot at him a lot of the time. But no, he crushed it. I mean, I asked him originally to do my mat, so he made it. I got a hold of Jank Mats. I asked them to help me out by making me a mat, and they did. And they're absolutely wonderful people too. Absolutely wonderful.
Bill and Jordy are absolutely amazing people.
Yes. And so they crushed that. And while they were working on it, I've been working on getting a fundraiser together for my shop. So I'm still working on that, and I'm trying my best, but I'm one person. So we're getting there. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I need some kind of artwork I'm going to make a shirt. And I was like, I'm going to do a fundraising box, not a subscription, but like a fundraising box. So in each of the boxes, people get like a copy of the shirt, a copy of the playmat, pretty much whatever you choose. And it'll help support all the shop because at the end of the day, I want a fundraiser, but I also want people to have tangible items because I'm not just going to ask people for money. So I was like, how do I do this? And so I said, will you help me? And he did. And my shirt is amazing. I absolutely love it. I wear it everywhere. Like I wear it everywhere at this point. It's a problem.
But you should,
yeah,
because it's advertising.
Yeah, that too. I wore it all through. I went to Dice Tower West this past weekend in Vegas, and I wore it throughout there. I told all kinds of people about his artwork. Like it was a good time, and he is going to help me with a couple other things because I'm so not art friendly. But yeah, every time I ask him to do anything, he like knocks it out of the park without like even thinking about it. So
yeah, he is just
ridiculous.
He's amazing. I honestly, I love him. He's such a great guy too. Me and him, did I ever send you the episode that me and him did? The aliens
No,
one?
I can only imagine.
Oh, we did an episode on aliens, and it was just like we just couldn't stop talking for like if I didn't stop us, I don't think we would have stopped because I was like we can't go any further, man. Like we're at 3 hours, like we can't.
Plus, it's aliens, so you
going.
can't. I mean, it's aliens. I mean,
it is, and like and I didn't want to talk. I don't like talking about other people on other people's episodes, but like Wild is such like a big. He's just a great guy, He's very kind. He does a lot for a lot of people, and honestly, I love his artwork. That's the only reason I want to bring it up is I love
absolutely
his artwork.
I would have promoted it if you didn't, so it's okay.
Yes. Well, yes, but he was actually the one. He's like, Eddie, you need to get this person on your show. He messaged me after Chicago, and he's like, you need to get her on your show. And I'm like, really? He goes, yes, you need to. And I was like, okay, I will reach out. And he's like. She's a yapper, just like you. So it'll be a good episode of just a lot of talking.
I do. I did. I talked his ear off that whole weekend. I feel bad. Only a little bad, but I do. I talk his ear off all the time, and then I just don't speak again for like weeks, and it's fine. Like,
It's like bop, 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 and then you're just like, okay, I'll see you in 6 months.
yeah, pretty much. Squirrel
Yeah,
Sam
yeah,
disappears from the world. I think
yeah.
that's been the hardest thing with the internet in general is my squirrel brain, because I'll like talk to people and everything will be great, and then I'm just, out of sight, out of mind. I put my phone down, and then it's like I'm just gone for days.
You're just like, oh yes, hi everybody. Good thing you didn't forget about me.
Well, listen, I will say, so now winter is ending, thank goodness, because I couldn't
Oh,
get into the
seriously.
shop because between the rain and the snow, and we had the worst rainy, snowy winter of all time and forever. I
I
wasn't
know.
even mad about the weather. Like that I don't care about because I was like, oh, this is normal winter. And I was like, yes, but the last 3 winters, it hasn't rained or snowed really at all. And the year
No.
that it is literally collapsing on the inside, I was like, it rained and snowed every day. Like
You're
every
just like,
day.
yeah, yeah, it's good. We're golden.
I was like, I'm just getting wet. But like one of the biggest things with being, having to balance being a content creator and, trying to open a local game store is right now, like I said, it was winter time. So when I get suited up, basically, there's no doing anything. Like I am locked in and it is really hard to get to my phone. And one of the things, especially in December, that happened was when I came back from PAX, it was an after PAX problem, which was a dumb idea, but I came back from PAX and the roof was just bad. Like I knew it was leaking a little. I didn't realize how bad till I got back. And so for 2 weeks, I pretty much lived there in the cold. And when I say I lived there, like I pretty much brought a tent at one point and slept there because like if I left, I wasn't coming back is how I felt because it
You were
was
just like felt a little
so
defeated
bad.
about it.
It was so bad because like I said, it was a furniture shop. So upstairs it was originally when I bought it, it was an antique store. So it was an antique junk store. Let me be specific. So the guy before us owned a hauling business. So everything
Hmm.
he basically didn't want went in there for them to try to sell off. And unfortunately, when I bought it, my dumb ass was like, "Yeah, take some price off. I'll keep it all. I'll get rid of it." Well, now here I am 5 years later, and I still have all of it. And mind you, this is after multiple attempts to get rid of it. Um, the previous owner and we had multiple sales, or not even sales. We had days where people could just come in and grab shit and still
Hmm.
have all this stuff. And so I never really thought much of it because when I first started working on it, I was just told by our zoning commission that if I could get the front of the store together and make it look presentable enough, I could at least temporary open until the rest of the shop was done. Like I could at least
Sure.
start selling things and things like that. So that's where my focus was until the roof leaked. So December was not only a huge hit, that it is completely out of my timeline at this point. Like, had I not had to redo upstairs, I would have already had the front of the store open. So like that was already defeating in itself. And then like I said, it hasn't stopped raining or snowing, so it's been freezing. And now like half of my electric is out because I blew a couple fuses with the space heaters, but then I guess a wire fell down and I don't know what it is, and I refuse to mess with my electric. Like I won't even mess with the fuses because it's an old building and I don't want it to catch fire and burn down. Though it is pretty wet, it probably would just put itself out, but still don't want any fires. And so like I've been working with like two space heaters upstairs and it's 137 feet across and 27 feet wide. So like it's a big damn building.
Oh yeah.
And so when I say I suit up, I put my Under Armour gear on, and then I have little heater things. I get one for my shoes, one for in between, like where my boots, my work boots cut off, and my pants, so that stays warm. I put
Hmm.
one in my hood, one in behind my neck, one in each of my bra, I put them in my bra because why not?
Oh,
And then I
yeah,
put
you
a
can just
giant
say it.
one, yeah. I was like, I don't know how else to put this nicely. And then I put a giant one in my back. Like they have ones now that like stick to your clothes so they don't move. And then I put my first painter suit on so that it's like a sauna like type of thing. So then
Sure.
I put my work gloves on and I put one inside of my work glove and one on my wrist. and then I tape it in so it won't fall out, and then I suit up again. And because I'm doing dry or installation right now and stuff, and everything is so dirty and it's wet, like there's no going around that. So when I say I suit up, there is no touching my phone. So for like 3 weeks in December, I was there. I would put my headphones in for my job, and like on the days I'd be off, but still had to do meetings. I would do my meetings from my ears, and like it's a lot, and it's stuff that people don't realize, like when you start trying to open your business, and it's rough.
No, I can't. I can imagine because like you are doing, and I'm assuming you're doing. Are you like contracting any of the work out, or are you trying to
Not
do?
yet.
Not yet. You haven't gotten to
I
that point
can't.
yet, right?
Well, it's if I could, I would. Like even with this insulation, I would if I could, because one, it's disgusting. It's so
Yes.
gross.
Yes.
But it's just me, and like I'm a single mom. So like I have a
Sure.
job, but I also pay for an apartment, and until May I was paying my apartment and the cost of the building plus a car plus everything else and utilities, and like even the shop utilities are killing me right now. Like I scrounge by each month. And so it's really hard because it's like one of those things. It's like, what do I focus on? Getting contractors to do this or doing stuff for my business? So like even with like having to get stuff from Wise and even getting my shirts made or my business cards and things, it's like I'd rather pay those costs and just do these things because I can than
Sure.
where do you get those funds? Like it's just
Right.
thankfully I
Where do you scrape
fundraise.
them from, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Thankfully, I did that fundraiser, and I did raise enough funds to get my first dumpster, which was really awesome. I'm supposed to dress like a raccoon, but I finished pulling insulation and I refused to ruin the raccoon costume with insulation grossness. So next dumpster, I'm gonna do it.
Next dumpster, you'll do that. No,
Yeah.
and honestly, kudos to you for how, and I know how you're going about it. Like you said, you're doing it. You're working. You're momming all by yourself.
Yeah.
And you're trying to open a game store all by yourself. Like,
Mm.
absolute kudos to you because I can't imagine the challenges that come with trying to. I mean, just trying to balance. Not even just the complexities of being a single parent, but just parenthood in general is complex enough. And like I have a 9-year-old who I want to beat up sometimes, and I have a wonderful little princess 3-year-old.
Wait till she's 13.
I think I'll
Listen.
be clear then because I think then the focus will be on my wife. You know.
I don't know. 13 is rough. It is rough. Don't get me wrong, I'm very fortunate that she is a preteen. Like last night, like I
Hmm.
said, I came home, I passed out hard,
Mm.
hard. And she was with her sitter. She loves her sitter. She's like another grandma to her. She asked to go with her. They were going shopping and doing all kinds of stuff. And I was like, whatever. And so by the time she got home, obviously I was asleep. And so it's like 8:39. She made herself French fries. She made me French fries. She left me this little cute note. And she's like, I put a Dr. Pepper in the fridge for you. Da 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 da. Like all this cute stuff. And then this morning I was like, you gotta wake up. It's like noon. And she's like, get out of my room. And I'm like, cool, 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 cool. Where's my sweetheart at? Like, what the hell is happening?
My wife had texted me yesterday, and she goes, "She's just the kindest baby ever. She's just the kindest little girl ever." And I was like, "Just wait till she's 15, and she calls you a
Hate you.
cunt. She calls you a
Yep.
cunt because you won't let her date a 19-year-old whose name starts with J." Um, you know, I don't know what it
Listen,
is. Like every girl has a bad experience with a guy whose name starts with J.
I'm
I
not
think it's
even
just a.
gonna lie. Yeah, that's a true fact right
I think
there.
that's a universal. I think every girl has to go through that. Is that
I
like
I
just
think that's a
just
rite of
part of life,
passage.
right? It either
Yeah, it's a
breaks you
rite
or
of passage.
it makes you. I think is the
It's
saying.
either a J or a P.
I have heard P. But
Yeah.
my wife's was a J. So,
Mm,
um, but
yeah,
yeah.
those are two common ones.
Anyway, um, so let's talk this shop a little bit more, and then we'll dive back into Magic. And then
Mm,
I want to get how, because you're actually the first person I've had on since MagicCon that has gone to MagicCon. So I want
mm,
to pick your brain on what you thought of that, because I went to Vegas back in the fall,
mm-hmm.
and I just also don't plan on going to any MagicCons this year. Like, I'm going to do Command Fest in
Mm,
Worcester,
gotcha.
in Mass, and then I'm going to an event in September called Commander Sealed.
Oh, nice.
which is kind of like how it sounds. It's you go. The two charities are Trans Lifeline and Trevor Project, and they just give you a bunch of booster packs and say make a commander deck. So,
Oh, that sounds fun though.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I know a couple people that are hopefully going to it. So with your shop, I'm even like, as we're talking, I've been sitting here scrolling through your Instagram, and I'm just like, okay, so let's look at all these pictures, and then I'm like, oh my god, like this is like just a bare bones building at the moment on one of these pictures.
Yeah.
I'm like
That is,
gosh.
I am so excited. So if it's one of the first ones, so that like the ones that are newer, so that's upstairs. If it's where the
Okay.
tarp is, that is upstairs, and that's what I've been cleaning for the last since December. That sounds absurd to me that I've been cleaning that upstairs since December, but I have. Probably before December
Okay.
because it was right around Duskmorn came out. Was that
Okay.
December?
No,
Yeah.
that was no, Duskborn was September, I think.
Yeah, so I
Or
started
October.
cleaning it out in September. Or
Okay.
yeah, and all I know is it's only gotten worse there, but now it's getting better. I did get tarps up on Christmas Eve. I was on that roof on Christmas Eve getting tarps up with people, because it's like we can't let this collapse. But yeah, so I'm really excited. So the biggest thing with my shop is I'm going to be having, I'm calling it my starter shop
Sure.
because as I've been working on it, and to be fair, I spend a lot of time in my own head by myself alone at that place. So I come up with all kinds of ideas.
Sure.
Um, and so my biggest thing with it is I'm going to have individualized TTRPG rooms.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm so pumped. So each room will have its own individual style, get up, that kind of thing. We'll have like themed events. But like I said with my shop, my biggest thing is community. Like at the end of the day, it's not about me. Like I want to have a local game store, I want to have a good time, and I want to do all those things. But how do you bridge that connection between online and in person?
Hmm.
Because you're never going to survive as a local game store if you don't have some kind of aspect, obviously, that brings people in. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, with gaming in general, it's not just the card aspect or even the RPG aspect. It's the people. And people are what make it go. People are the ones that, spend the money, obviously, but they're
Hmm.
also the ones that create. So, like,
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to that aspect of having a place where people can come and create. So, it's going to be those TTRPG rooms. I'm going to have streaming areas. I'm going to have theme nights. Like, I'm going to do all these different things to try to bring people together. And
Hmm.
then I do have a whole online aspect coming out. I'm still working out the kinks to it, to really bridge that together even more. So, I'm super pumped.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That I can share with you after the show. I'm not going to share it with everyone else yet.
Oh, no, 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 no. I totally that yeah. Um so if you let's say if like gun to your head had to set a date to open
Oh,
right now,
my heart
right?
died.
Right? Let's
Uh,
say gun to your head had to set a date today. Do you even have the slightest inclination, or is it still a when it's ready kind of deal?
no. So if everything keeps going according to plan and
Hmm.
I can get my life together and my brain together and stop
Sure.
scrolling a bit, I'm hoping at least to have the front open by August.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
if I keep doing it how I want to do it, like I said, this is my starter building. Honestly, I need
Hmm.
more space. Just the TTRPG rooms and Warhammer tables need more space. So,
They
like at
do.
the end, yeah, and my building is long enough, it's not wide enough. And to be fair, you have to be under like 6'2" to comfortably stand in there, probably. So again, not super ideal. Six
Oh
foot
damn! I'm
five,
6'6".
probably.
I'm six
Yeah.
six. So like
You wouldn't
I'm
even
gonna have to
fit in my building. No, I'm just
I'm gonna
kidding. You
scrunch.
would.
I'm gonna have to scrunch a little bit.
But the first floor is okay. It's like the upstairs floor that's the problem. And so I've been working, I did join the Small Business Development Center through Duquesne, so they've been helping me a lot, and that's my next goal in the next few months is to try to either find a new building or at least get no matter what, I'm gonna get this one up and going. But if I can find a new building, I'm hoping by February to have it fully open.
Okay.
Yeah. But August, I
Okay.
should have the front of this one. So.
So get it open. get some funds going, right?
Yeah.
And then take said funds and move on to bigger and better, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, my concept is solid. And like I said, there's a lot
100%.
to it. And the aspect that I'm going to be incorporating is a lot different than what most local game stores are going to be doing. So, like, it's going to be really exciting. I just, unfortunately, as much as I want to, because I love this building, because I've put so much hard work into it, it's like my baby. It's not feasible. And it makes me really sad sometimes because I'm like, look at it. But if things go the way I want it to go, and I do get the front open and I can make the funds to get a second building, I can keep this building as a more of a offset building where people can come and use equipment to create. So like, because I do have a lathe in there, I have a welding machine, I have planers, I have sanders, I have all the sewing equipment in the world you could think of. Like I have all kinds of stuff in there that if I was able to get another building and keep this, it would be a nice offset if I have a place for people to like rent space to actually create without having to spend an astronomical amount to buy their own stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that'd be really awesome.
That sounds amazing because, like, it gives you the opportunity to be like, hey, if you need this, go here. And then you could even be like, slide me a 20. To use, like slide me a 20. You know,
Yep.
you know.
Well, and one of the big things with the shop is going to be, since I'm doing a community aspect, one of the bigger things is going to be, I'm going to be creating neurodivergent nights, but also I want to have, events for kids with autism to do D&D one-shots because it is a really good way to help kids with their creativity, to heal through trauma, to do all these other things that most people don't think of when they think of D&D. But it is a really good learning tool. It is. And so are some of the RPG games and things like that. So not particularly just D&D, but teaching kids those social skills and learning tools, like, and using them through gaming. So I've talked to a couple of my old professors and things like that too. So I'm really excited about that aspect.
Hell yeah. I know, and sometimes these kids who have gone through a lot, like you said, they need an external outlet to process, right? I mean, even adults need an external outlet to process, and sometimes punching your boss in the face isn't the best way to process things, people.
No, it's not. Thought about it, but not always the best way.
Not a bad idea, but not the best idea. But you need an external outlet. Like for us, Magic the Gathering might be that external outlet. For some, I mean, I know my wife, she likes to cook and bake and stuff like that, and she partakes of the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, well, don't we all? Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I wish I could. My job doesn't let me.
Oh, that's the devil. That's the devil lettuce there.
That's the devil right there. I drive truck. So
that'll make sense. Yeah, you cannot do that with driving trucks. No.
Yeah.
It's a little frowned upon.
Because people can go home and crush an 18-pack, and that's still in their system the next day and operate equipment. But I can't just smoke up a little bit.
It blows my mind. Even with a med card, are you not allowed to smoke?
Nope.
Wow.
Because the CDL is a federal license.
Oh,
so
yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
it's just like, nope, tough shit for you, buddy.
Way to be federal. No, I'm just kidding.
So, you went to MagicCon Chicago. Was it your first MagicCon?
It was. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about it. Tell me start to finish. You don't have to break down every little detail, but give me some of the highlights of your experience of going to MagicCon Chicago. And let me ask you this first question. Would you go to another MagicCon very soon, or did you feel it was a little overwhelming and you might want to like every other one or every couple or once a year?
To be fair, this year I'm going to try to go to all of them. Just because of who I am as a person. I'm really excited. To be fair, getting there was super overwhelming. I hate Chicago, I realized. I fucking hate it. I'm not even going to pretend to like driving in there. My hotel got a little messy. I got lost a lot. I cried a bit in the morning. It was fine.
Oh, but that's just Chicago for you.
Oh my God, it was terrible. I tried so hard to keep it together, but I just couldn't. It was bad. I had someone with me and that was fine, but like I said, I was lost a good bit. So then they had a different hotel room, so they had to go to their hotel rooms. Then I had to find mine back too, and like it was just a mess. But getting there was great because I got to meet a lot of people, and for me, that's what I like. Um, Outside of in people experiences, yes, I talk to people and I'll yap like if we're on the internet, but for the most part, I'm really introverted, which surprises a lot of people. When I'm at home, it's my space, it's my time. I want to
You're
be
comfortable
alone.
at home,
Yes.
right?
And even at work and stuff, like I shut my office door, I keep to myself unless someone needs me because I'm the boss. I have to, be needed. But other than that, like I'm gonna get it done, I'm gonna go home. And same thing with my personal life. I'm gonna get it done, I'm gonna do what I need to. And at the end of the day, if we've talked, we talked. If we haven't, we haven't. I move on. But
Sure.
these kind of events give me that ability to actually be social in a fun way instead of it always being about business. So like I really did enjoy getting to know everybody. Like and I got to put some names to some faces or faces to some names that way.
Hmm.
That like I've talked to a lot online, because it doesn't feel real until you meet somebody either. So that was a huge, huge thing for me. So, and like I got to meet Scry, which I was really excited about, Miss Slasher, Miss Sushi, um, all that kind of stuff. So that was like
Hmm.
really the highlight of my weekend. And I got to meet Sorcerer's Stash in person. So that was
Yes,
cool.
I didn't. What's crazy though is like, so like I said, I'm 6'6". So when I went to
Hmm.
Vegas back in October, I maybe just like underestimated how short everybody was going to be in person, and then I met everybody in person, and I'm just like, oh, like I'm like, maybe I'm the freak, maybe I'm freakishly tall, you know?
I
Um,
struggle with heights so much and like because you never know what to expect. So I don't even
right.
expect anything like at all going in the door anymore.
Yeah, you're
Um,
just like, oh, this person could be 3 feet tall or 7'8", and who
mhm.
cares?
Well, this is a funny story. So I just had while do all my stuff, right?
Hmm.
And I get to MagicCon and we got in early. We got in on Wednesday. And I think it was Thursday we went out, yeah, because Wednesday I was like, fuck it, I'm not leaving my room. This was too much. Like I'm gonna lay down, and I did. And so
Sure.
Thursday I went all out for my first MagicCon. I got the Black Lotus pass, which to say it was not really worth it at all. But it was still fun. But Thursday we got to do some pre things because we had it. So
Hmm.
after that we all went to dinner and I got to meet Chad Magic from the UK, which was really cool. And we went to dinner. And so we're all sitting at dinner and it's me, Wayne, Chad Magic. And I look over and I was like, I think that's Wilds, and I think that's, Celtic Warrior, and da 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 da. Da. And like I kind of waved, and he just like looked at me like I had 10 heads. And I was like, well, I'm not fucking waving again because I'm not doing it. Like he didn't even acknowledge. So then Wayne walked over and was like, "Are you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then he came over and he's like, "I'm sorry, I saw you wave, but I wasn't sure." And I was like, "Well, I will never wave at you ever again now." So there's that. Like there's that. I was like, I thought I was gonna die. And then we
Um,
got to meet the guy that pulled the One Ring.
yeah, I heard he
That
was at Chicago.
Yeah, yeah, we got to
I
meet
heard he
him
was at
too.
Chicago. That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
no, Vegas was very. I am a very sociable introvert. I
Mhm.
like being in the comfort of my home, as you can tell as I record the podcast
Mhm.
from my home, and not in a studio. But like, I was like, I just did Vegas, and I spent way more than I fucking should have on Vegas. Because it's Vegas, you got to go big, right?
Mhm.
Um, so I was like, I just spent so much on Vegas, but I don't. And I was like, I don't want to do another MagicCon. And it's not that I didn't want to like go to the events because I had a lot of fun. Got to play a lot of great games of Commander. Got to experience a lot of things, see a lot of great things, meet a lot of great people. But like, I wanted to do more locally,
Mhm.
and not just like in my town, but like what I'm saying, like in the Northeast here, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, New England, here in New York. I wanted to do stuff that's like local, within a couple hours drive for me, so I don't have to travel all over the country again this
Yeah.
year. I am gonna try Atlanta. I am gonna maybe try for Atlanta because I know that would probably be very exciting, and it's only about a 13, 14 hour drive from me.
Oh, that's not
Um,
bad. I was gonna drive to Atlanta too.
yeah, but like. I don't know. Like, if I do I spend thousands on one trip going big, you know? Or do I do a lot of smaller events throughout the year and kind of like this is just a personal opinion. It's not what everybody, you know, everybody has their own take on how they want to do it and their own, you know, finances on how they want to do it and everything like that. But I was like, you know, I would rather take the money that I have and do this many small events here in the Northeast versus this many big events maybe once or twice this year.
But see, that's what I like. Like, don't get me wrong, I did like MagicCon, but like even PAX and when I went to Dice Tower West, jeez Louise, man, words tonight. That I really
It's the yapping.
enjoyed.
It gets away
Yeah.
from you.
It does. But it's that, like, I got really excited. Like, I got to role play at Dice Tower, and that's something I found that I've really enjoyed. I'm very introverted, so I'm very nervous about everything. And I also think that's why I tend to yap so much, because I'm so nervous. I'm just like, I've got to fill all the space. And so, like, I know I tend to go on. But, like, role playing, first off, it forced me to be quiet in a social situation. So, again, I was like, damn it, get me out of my comfort zone. But I had such a good time. The people I was with, though, on the one game, smart ass that they were, they tried to be like, yeah, it's these people, and ended our one role-playing game in less than 2 minutes. And I was like, how did you just end the game? You just ended the game. We spent an hour and 20 minutes getting it set up for you to be like, yeah, it's these two people, and everyone believed him, and then the game was over. I was like, what the fuck? He was like, I don't know why everyone believed me. I was like, I didn't even get to do shit. But I did get to play some new games, and like that was a really cool aspect. And I think I'm really enjoying going to these events as a game store owner versus a creator.
Yes, and that makes sense because like you're like, huh, this is a lot of great stuff that I could then incorporate back into my own shop. You know.
Yeah.
So no, I totally get it. I wanted to do PAX. I wanted to do PAX East this year. I did, but it was a timing thing for me, and I was like, I'll just go next year. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm definitely gonna go.
Yeah, because it's in Philly, right? Yeah, that's 4 hours.
Yeah,
right?
it's not bad.
No, and it's Philly. You know, there's a lot to do in Philly. Go Birds.
I just wish it wasn't so cold when we went.
yeah, because it was what, in December, right?
Yeah, December. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had heat patches all over me then too.
So you're using like little hot hands, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love them so much.
Oh my gosh! So like working outside all winter, I'll take them sometimes, and like I'll take my boots off, throw a couple in there, and even though it feels weird in my boot because like it's uncomfortable,
yeah,
at least my
worth
feet are
it.
warm.
It's worth
At
it.
least my
Every
feet are warm.
minute of it. I think that's why my feet have been so bad. Though I did twist my ankle. So I've been doing this thing where I've been trying to record at the shop so that like whenever I do videos and stuff, people are like, or do the work, I can post it. Eventually it's going to go on YouTube and stuff.
Sure.
But my biggest thing is watching myself do it backwards. I can't, like, I hate watching myself, so it's been really hard. But a couple weekends ago, right before I went to Vegas, I was pulling the rest of that insulation out, and I filled that whole 30-yard dumpster by myself in one weekend with just freaking insulation and stuff. It was crazy. But I tripped, and so I sprained my ankle real bad. But I blame the fucking hot hand things because like they make my walking all wonky.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn it, hot hands. Like, I gimped around. It was fine.
You're just like, yeah, just, you know, minor
warm.
fractures.
That's
Minor
fine.
fractures.
I'm warm. That's what matters.
I fucked up my ankle really bad falling out of a truck last winter. So like over a year ago now, and it still fucking hurts.
Oh, I bet.
It was a high ankle sprain, but like my leg was the size of a fucking like basketball, like my ankle was for like weeks, and I couldn't even get my boot in it, and it was so bad. I had to walk around with a cane. I was like, oh, this is terrible. That
sounds terrible.
So we have a lot, and I do mean a friggin' lot left for Magic for the year. But oh my god, I'm moving them on. So anyways, so you got in Thursday. This is the ADHD, everybody. This is what happens when two ADHD people sit down and talk. We lose track. You had dinner Thursday. You saw Wild, and then we are now at Friday.
Oh yeah,
Getting to the
Friday was
con.
nice. Getting to the con wasn't too bad. Where I was staying, I just Ubered there, so it was super
Okay.
easy. Um, it was also nice because I got to go and like experience and like look around and stuff. Friday was a blur. I will say Friday was a bit of a blur. It was a lot. There's people, you're getting to see everybody, so people were like chit-chatting with you and things like that. But I had a really good time. I got to meet everyone pretty much that day.
Sure.
Um, Friday night, or was it Thursday night? It was Thursday night that I got to meet like the Check for Traps group. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh,
And
you
then,
got to meet all the mono black meanies.
yeah, yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I got to hang out with like me and Sorcerer Stash ended up having the same hotel. So we got to hang out and like play cards in the lobby. It was like us and the Mono Black Meanies and the people that I was with and stuff. So that was really cool. And then Friday. It was just hectic because everyone's getting in, and some people are like arriving mid show. Like it was pure hecticness. But by the end of Friday, we all like again we all went back to the hotel and like played Commander in the hotel lobby. So that was a lot of fun. Um, Saturday we all got really drunk and tried to go flick the bean at 3 a.m. We didn't though. It was better choices not to
I
do
bet.
that.
Wasn't it
Um,
like 15 degrees?
it was. It was. I also got someone on Saturday night. So Saturday was probably my most chill day. Um, Scry was the real MPV because I started a bunch of games I couldn't finish, and so
Mm.
he kind of finished all of my games, which was really helpful because like people would be like, "Oh, you're the unseen," or "Hey, you have a business," and like I would just start talking, and then next thing you know, he's like, "I'll just play your turn." I was like, "Thank you, I'm a menace." But Saturday night was probably one of the funnest nights because like we ended up getting hot dogs from this place called Devil Dogs, and they
I
were
know where that is. Fuck
they
yeah.
were terrible. They
I
weren't
know
bad.
they're not
I
good.
they were so spicy and I can't do spice. Like ever since I had my daughter, my taste buds changed and I can't do spicy. So first off, I took a bite of this damn hot dog and it was awful. And I was like, I will not eat this. So then all night I kept trying to give it to people. And there at one point we did I think the funnest thing about Chicago was the after the con stuff because we had such a blast. And so we
Hmm.
ended up having a 10 game command or a 10 person commander game going at one point. It was
Oh
insanity.
jeez.
Yeah, it was insanity. And at this whole night, I was trying to get people to eat this fucking hot dog. Just eat this damn hot dog. No one would eat it. So then a couple people
That's
had
what
to
happens when
leave.
you try to shove your wiener at people.
I
Everybody.
know, I just can't help it. I just love to shove it. And anyways, so I get banned from the internet. But
Oh no!
so
I put a warning on the episode,
oh
like a
good.
vulgarity warning. So it
That's
was really
great
good.
because yeah,
Yes.
my mouth gets me in trouble. So does my wiener apparently that night. But
Yes.
so
Nobody wanted it.
oh, nobody wanted it. And I was like, well, someone just eat this thing. Like, I don't want to waste it. So a couple people had to leave because it was getting late. And so we ended up back in the lobby. And when we get in the lobby, there's this guy there and he's schmammered. And even he did not want the fucking hot dog, but he was schmammered. So he kept trying to get me and Stash to drink out of this like container. And I'm like, I'm not drinking out of this container with you. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, first off, I'm a female. I know better. And second off, it is bright yellow and what you said it was does not look like this. So like we just wouldn't drink it, right? But he kept calling it a glizzy. And if you look up the definition of a glizzy, there's a
It's
whole
a hot
bunch of
dog.
them. It's a whole bunch of other things though
Well,
too.
yes.
And I could not stop laughing. And so we finally were like, okay, we're all going to go up to our room, whatnot. And I literally stopped and I was like, no one ate this hot dog. I was like, someone needs to eat this fucking hot dog. So I screamed that exact words. I said, will someone please eat my motherfucking hot dog in the middle of the lobby? And someone did. They ate my hot dog. I gave them the
Uh,
wiener. It was great.
that yeah, I was gonna say that. That would be like a head turner if I just heard somebody scream out, "Will somebody eat my goddamn hot dog?" in the middle of the hotel. I'd be like, I'll have what she's having.
And he did, and he liked it. I'm glad because I did not like it at all. It was terrible.
This is
But
where I'm
this
clipping it,
gentleman
by the
did.
way. This is where I'm clipping it. This is where I'm clipping it because that is going to be a great, and it's probably going to get a TikTok ban. Whatever, I don't care. But like, that is going to be a wonderful clip. Everybody, that's how we're going to promote the episode. I
Somebody,
shouted,
my
does anybody
motherfucker.
want to eat my motherfucking wiener?
That'd be the greatest opening ever. Someone
Oh,
did though. Maybe we'll find the person who did. That'd be wonderful. Because I gave them on my
yes.
business card, I think. I don't know. I was pretty schmammered.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
but
as
I
you are,
tried to get
as
people.
you are at every con.
Yes, that was probably the
There's
funnest part was just getting drunk with everybody.
there's like a drinking minimum almost at these events.
I feel like it. I feel like it for sure. Sunday, I I ended up following Wilds around the whole time because in Scry, it was me, Scry, and then everyone was just randomly everywhere, but most of my group had left. And I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck am I supposed to do? I'm here till Monday. Like, what am I supposed to
Right.
do with this? And a couple of their people were still there. So I ended up playing with Connected with Magic or by Magic,
Mm-hmm.
the AI armor guys. And then I got to meet Celtic in person, like actually got to sat and talk to him and stuff. So it was really cool. But I also got shmammered that night and had to have some people walk me to the Uber. So I got home. I was like, someone make sure I get in the Uber because I wander. And I wasn't at my own hotel. So I was like, someone needs to make sure I get in an Uber.
Somebody needs to get me to my Uber
That's
and
all I
then
need.
possibly make sure I get to the hotel.
I did get to the hotel and I got home safely. I got to meet,
Good.
that was a fun thing too. One of the things I got to do on the way home is I went to New York and I got to meet MTG Hordes.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
yeah, me and Wayne, we stopped and we taught him and his wife how to play Commander. It was really cool.
Hell yeah.
They are wonderful people too.
I I haven't had a chance to interact with them other than like, oh, you followed me, I'll follow you kind of deal.
Yeah.
But like so many of these like, and you never think too, like, because some people can be very very like. So this is going to be the opposite of this. Some people can like seem like the nicest people in the world, but in
Mm-hmm.
reality, they are the shittiest person you'll ever meet. But you don't know
Yeah.
until you actually meet them in person.
Yeah.
And then some people may seem very abrasive, but like in person, it's just like the
Mm-hmm.
nicest person you'll ever meet.
I've run into that a few times already, and I think that's my hardest thing I deal with being a
Hmm.
creator and online in general
Yeah.
is for me personally, I'm just nice to everybody. Like that's just who I am. And I try really hard because at the end of the day, you don't know what everybody else is going through. So
Right.
like I always give people the benefit of the doubt, which is literally my demise, I think, because people either they don't give a fuck about you, which is the internet, and or they over care about you and then things get wonky and weird. So like there's those like weird things too. But at the same time, I've met some of my best friends now off the internet. And I can't ever deny that. But the internet's weird and it's been a hard transition because I like never interneted beforehand, like ever.
Yes, interneting is hard.
Yeah, it's a learning
It
experience. I've gotten
it
myself in
is
trouble a lot.
it is a learning experience. I think a lot of us have to remember like we grew up in the era of don't talk to strangers on the internet,
Hmm.
and now we talk to strangers on the internet.
That's all we do. Yep.
That's all we do. So it's like, maybe I shouldn't have put my foot in my mouth. I don't know.
Listen, I've gotten myself into trouble. Like I said, I don't know how to internet well, and I have like a whole team of people at this point to help make sure my technology is correct so that I don't keep fucking up on the internet. Because like I am very much that person who does not think before they speak when I'm really excited or nervous. Like it's just, and that's why I always tell people you'll never get me to lie because at the end of the day, it's going to come out of my mouth. So like I just don't lie. It's just not possible because I might do and be like, oh no, ha ha ha, but I'm gonna just so nonchalantly drop it on someone at a different time and not even think about it. So I just don't.
Like, oh hey,
Like,
by the way, you're just talking and like, oh by the way, did you hear this? And you're just like, oh, I
yeah.
wasn't supposed to say that.
Yeah, most people don't tell me like, and like, don't get me wrong, it's different with like secrets and like people's stuff, but my own
Sure.
stuff, I'm gonna tell you. Like, it's just who I am. I'm an open book. I'm as
Yeah, you're
open
just
of
like,
a book as you can imagine. I'm just like, oh, that, yeah, this, and I'm just like, dude. I'm like, Sam, shut the fuck up. Like, I can hear myself in the back of my head going, stop it, nobody, stop it. And I'm just like, yeah, life.
like the real Sam is just like, will this person just shut the fuck up?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then the rest of you is just like, I don't know, have you seen that? I've got this TikTok sound stuck in my head. It's like these little cartoons and they're like chanting. They're like da 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 da. And I'm just like, that's probably my brain about 35% of the time on a good day. And on a bad day, that's probably about 80% of my brain. Just sometimes
I
even
tried my
circus
hardest.
music. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. So we have, I can't do math. We have 8.5 months left of this year.
Ugh. Just kidding.
Fucking terrible. That's fucking terrible.
This year is much better than last year, so it's fine.
Yes, I agree. So we have 8.5 months left of this year, and with those 8.5 months, we still have 5 sets of Magic to go.
Oh, I keep forgetting how many sets we have. I'm dying. I'm not even gonna lie. There has been so many sets, and like my brain, I try really hard to keep up, and like all these new mechanics and things like that. I feel like every time I learn something new, they're like, "Here, let me just throw something else at you," and my brain's like, "Fuck you, don't do it. You can't do this."
Is there? So I'm only excited, and I'm honest with everybody when they ask me like, "Oh, what are you excited for most this year?" Excited for, Spider-Man, Avatar, all these other sets. I'm like, honestly, no. There is one set that I am absolutely excited for, and that's Tarkir Dragonstorm, which is at the time of this recording coming out in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. I was actually really excited, and everyone is not excited about that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I'm pumped. I love dragons though, and I just like Tarkir, so I can't even be mad.
Yeah, and so here's the thing that upset me just a smidge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was like before MagicCon, we knew we were getting Tarkir Dragonstorm back in October with Vegas, but then we didn't get any spoilers, and then they just shit all the Final Fantasy ones on us, right? And then they shit all the Spider-Man ones, and then they spoiled Avatar, and they're like, "Oh, hey, by the way, here's some cards from Tarkir Dragonstorm." I'm just like, I get that it's coming out in a month and a half, but like, all you're giving us is the boxes of the pre-cons and a couple of cards. Like, you've given us so much for Final Fantasy, but now like this is all we get. Like, and that was just a little upsetting because like Tarkir is the set that I want this year.
Like, me too. I'm actually really excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited about Final Fantasy, but that's just because I love Final Fantasy. Like, I've been playing Final Fantasy since I was a young child at this point. Like, I grew up with that. Same with, like, Zelda and all that kind of stuff. And, but Final Fantasy was always my go-to. I used to do, like, the online game and everything. So I was really pumped. But not, and I don't think it's because I want to play it as a card set. Like, I'm just excited for the art and stuff. If they do it right. Sure. But Tarkir, I cannot wait. And I was at one of my local game shops, and they were saying how like unhappy people are about it, and I don't understand why. Like,
I think it's just because Magic players like to complain.
I mean, that too. That's fair.
Yeah. We're like we're the biggest complainers there are.
Like, and I think it's hard too because it's kind of overshadowed by Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
people are just excited about it.
Yeah, and people were like going crazy, like so much so that Final Fantasy sold out faster than Lord of the Rings. Everybody, but no, yeah, I wish that like it had gotten just a little bit more love. I know that once again at the time of this recording, previews are starting in just a couple days, but like it's not enough for me. I wish we had gotten more. I was really trying for ambassador for this set. But
how do you even do that?
You gotta apply for it by sending in an email of like what your socials, why you think you'd be a good fit and stuff like that. And I thought I'd be a good fit for this one, and I've been just like dumping out lore about all of like the important characters and places and things in Tarkir for like the last 2 months now, hoping to get Wizards' attention. But it didn't happen, and if it doesn't happen that I'm an ambassador for Tarkir, then it doesn't happen. But it would be super cool to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I never understood how to do that, so I just never did it.
It's really, you just gotta like email there's a person at Wizards that kind of handles it all.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited for Tarkir. I'm also excited for SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes.
Which I know is just reskins, but I think, and this is just more of like a more recent thought process, especially after the Marvel fiasco, I think that like Universes Beyond Secret Layers should be reskins.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No,
so then
it
you're
does.
not missing out because like you're not missing out on the mechanics of the card if the secret layer itself sells out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
No, that makes sense actually because it's hard because then everyone. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I like that idea.
Right? And like, once again, everybody's got their own opinions. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. I just think that we all think that it might be a good idea to just do reskins.
Yeah.
But, so I know you said you like to modify precons. That's kind of how you get into it when you had time,
Yeah.
right? What were your thoughts on Spider-Man not having any precons?
Honestly, that doesn't bother me. Because I don't know. I feel like at this point there's so many precons. So, I mean, I'm really excited about Spider-Man, but I'm also not as attached to that as I am to other things. I was surprised though,
I was
because
very
I thought they
surprised.
could
Yeah,
do some really cool things with it.
I agree. I was also like, my thought process of this on this was like, okay, maybe it's Disney telling them no, right? Because the cards are based off of Marvel Comics, so maybe because and Marvel Comics is owned by Disney, maybe it's Disney being like, oh hey, you actually can't, do this because of our licensing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I never
who
thought about
knows?
that.
Yeah, who knows how it all works out and everything like that.
Everybody dictates somebody.
Yeah, that is a factual statement. So, Sammy, we are coming to kind of like the end here. We have made it to the end of the show, but
Not yet, because I've enjoyed this. But...
it's actually really fun. What I want to do is I want to bring you back on in a couple months,
Absolutely.
right? And I want to do an update. I want to see. I want the progress of the store, right? I want to be like, this is where you're at, kind of deal. And if you've had to do any more, videos in a raccoon costume.
I can't wait for that. I'm so excited, actually. I think where I'm struggling right now is how the fuck am I supposed to do that? But I'm really excited. Like, I'm not
Right.
sure how I'm supposed to take videos of myself in a raccoon costume, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
This would be like
Figure it
weird
out.
pre-internet videos where it's like my face. It's like an old-timey video where it's like trying and I'm fumbling the camera.
You're just like,
Come on, Sarah, just get the camera started. Put it on the tripod. It'll be fine. The things you learn to do when you're alone a lot of the time are things I never
yeah.
thought I'd ever have to do.
well,
But I do.
100%. Okay, so I do have a couple more questions though before we go. Actually, so if you had to give advice to anyone that wants to open a game shop, what would you say to them?
Oh, biggest advice, don't be afraid to get dirty and be prepared to lose people. It's messy, it's a lot, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it, but it's messy. And if you're not prepared for the hard work that goes into it and the messy parts of it, you won't succeed.
What would
Oh, sorry.
aside from completely gutting a building and remodeling, which I know you're doing, what would you consider some of the messy parts?
So without that part, it's the putting yourself out there part, I guess, that kind of gets
Sure.
messy. Like I said, you put yourself out there and you give it your all, and still at the end of the day, you have the potential for people to tell you, one, you have a terrible idea, or two, like, no, that's not going to work, or three, just being completely unsupportive. Or here's a fourth and surprising one for a lot of people is that you have supporters and they don't really have your back. So again, it's like one of those things as you start to get bigger and you start to do the things you want to do, people latch on.
Sure.
And it's really hard to know who actually has your back and who doesn't. But at the end of the day, the people who have your back are always going to be the ones that are in the trenches with you. Like they're there every single day. And I have a few of people like that right now who, at the end of the day, even though I'm kicking and screaming and pulling my own hair out, they're still back there going, it's going to be okay. And even though I tell them, shut the fuck up, it's not okay, they're like, Sam, you know it's going to be okay. And I do. But then there's the people that once it starts to get messy, so things are getting hard, and at the end of the day, you're exhausted and you're snappy and you've tried so hard. And like, for example, like for me, it's one of those days where I come home and I'm covered in like drywall dust and slime and rain from the ceiling, and I'm exhausted and I have no energy. I have no energy to put on the internet, hey, this is how it's going, because to be fair, the internet doesn't want to see the unhappy.
Hmm.
So when I'm coming home and it's exhausting, it's hard for those people who are around me, especially the ones that want you to succeed but don't want to hear the messy. So finding those people too who can deal with you while you're down, because it's hard. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Is it gonna be amazing when it happens? Absolutely. The things I'm gonna get to do are going to be astounding. There's
Hmm.
things in my plan that most people haven't even thought of yet, and I can't wait to do it. But there are days you want to give up, and it's those moments that you have to push yourself harder and harder than you ever think you do, because it'd be so much easier to just sit on the couch and be like, I'll go tomorrow. And those are the people you'll have in your life that you don't realize you have. The people who go, don't worry, you always have tomorrow. Not the people who are going, yes, you have tomorrow, but you still got to get shit done today.
Right.
Like, so I guess that's been the messiest part is the people aspect of it. That's why I don't have
Yeah.
a business partner right now. It's really hard to find someone to trust with a business.
Oh yeah, no, I've never, I've always been told never go into business with somebody,
Hmm. Yeah.
um, because it will ruin friendships, relationships, marriages,
Hmm.
families, because it's just absolutely just not
It's
worth it.
hard,
Yeah.
especially when you have ideas that are good in other people. And that's like what I say where it gets messy is if you have good ideas, and say even if they have really good ideas too, how do you get to that compromise? And it's just sad because you don't want to lose someone you're really close to.
Hmm. No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen lots of friendships that are just gone, you
Hmm.
know, because they decided they're like, oh, let's do this together, and then one person's still doing it, and the other person just either quit doing it or got sued out of the business.
Hmm.
Um,
It happens
and
so
it's
much.
so often, and it's crazy too. You're like, no, that's not
Well,
that's
and the
not
worst
right.
part with me as a person, when I'm done, I'm done. So, like, if I'm done, I'm just gonna
Hmm.
walk away. I'm not gonna sue you. I'm not gonna fight with you. I'm not really ever gonna fucking say a thing again. I might
Sure.
ADHD loop it. That's what I call it when I don't understand something. I will talk about it for a while until I understand it. But honestly, after that, like, I'm done with it. And
Hmm.
I'm okay with that. But that was all is also not a good business aspect mind, because if I was done with someone, I'd be like, fuck it, I'm out, and I would just walk
Yeah.
away. So like
Yeah.
I know I would get screwed at the end. So I try not to do
100%.
that.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
I
bye
totally get it.
Felicia, just leave.
Bye.
You just
Peace out,
left.
bitches.
Like, fuck this place. I'm not going back.
This is a fucking prison on planet
Just see me,
bullshit.
you'll see me stomping out with my little fists in the air. Just won't do this no more. Little pouty face, I'll be fine.
The tears in your eyes are just like, man, I'm strong. I'm independent. I don't need this bullshit.
It's like, as I eat my cotton candy on the sidewalk. Listen, I
Yeah,
did find
exactly.
cotton candy. That was the one thing about MagicCon. If there was food, I found it. And everyone's like, "What the hell, Sam?" I'm like, "I just like to eat." And at one point, I got back to the one table and I had a churro and cotton candy, and everyone was like, "What the
That's
fuck?"
way better food than they had in Vegas. We had like Papa John's and like shitty chicken tenders. Like those were like the
Ew.
only vendors at MagicCon. Vegas.
That's terrible.
And I'm just like,
I had cotton candy and it was amazing.
like, I just had to make it through the end of each day, and then I could go get like really good food out there in Vegas. But on Sunday, I was like, all right, I've played enough Magic. I hate most of these people now. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't hate anybody.
How you get banned from the internet? No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, my social battery's starting to wear down. I was like, do you guys want to go get lunch at the official One Piece restaurant? And they're just like, what? I was like, the official One Piece restaurant? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, where is it? I'm like, it's on the complete opposite side of Vegas from where we are. And they're just like, oh, yeah, let's go. And we made it all the way there and back in time.
I plan on going to Vegas, but I plan on going early because when I went there this weekend, I never left the hotel. I never left. I was terrified. I went by myself. The one the actual convention was in, I can't remember. The one Elvis is famous for. It's like the Elvis Hotel. I don't know. It was old as hell. But Westgate, maybe? Something like that? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it was a lot of fun. It was amazing, but I just didn't leave because I was by myself. So like I wasn't gonna wander Vegas by myself. You know what I mean? There's people there too, but like I wasn't gonna do that. But there's a bunch of card shops out there that sound really freaking cool, and there's one that's like 7,300 square feet. And I couldn't make it there that weekend, or I would have. So I'm definitely going back. So I'm gonna give myself an extra couple of days. So.
That way,
I'm
a little bit
excited.
more time to kind of
I just want to explore. Don't get me wrong, I liked MagicCon, but even in Chicago, that was the funnest part, was actually exploring and finding cool places to go.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing with going to any big city though is like you never know the true dangers of where you're going. So is going to a certain place worth potential risks?
Mm-hmm.
You're a big girl, you'll handle it, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I thought about. I was like, you're a big kid, you'll figure it out. You're good. You're golden. So, with that being said, I know we went an extra little bit there. Everybody, please go check out Sammi on Instagram. I'm going to tag her socials in the comments or in the links down below. Like she said, she's got a big giveaway. We're not a giveaway. You're going to do the fundraiser.
Yeah.
We're going to do a fundraiser. Do you have a time frame for that?
So because I'm hoping to get the roof up at the end of April, beginning of May, I'm trying to just do it around then. I wanted to have my marketplace and everything up by now, but life has been lifing, so I'm getting there.
Life's been lifing. I get it. No, trust me, I get it. Life's a lot.
It's hard.
Yeah. And now that it's nice out, you're just like, oh,
I definitely don't want to do shit.
Like, I don't want to do shit. Today it was beautiful out, and my wife's like, I really hate that tree. I was like, all right. So I just fucking cut down a tree today. I was like, whatever.
That's fair. You're like, goodbye forever.
The tree, I was kind of glad that I did because, like, I was pulling on some of the vines and the root ball was coming out of the ground. I was like, oh, I'm going to cut that down before it falls on one of my children and maims or kills them. Right, or force smash. Like she literally just pushed. Like after I'd cut it through just a little bit, she had just pushed it over. I was like, yeah, that tree was deader than a doornail. So everybody, please once again go check out Sammi on Instagram. Are you on TikTok? I didn't know if you were on TikTok.
I did. I just started because I'm gonna start posting photos of the shop. So or not photos, videos, because that's TikTok.
Videos, right? Yeah, TikTok.
I did one so far. It hasn't been swell, but I tried. I'm trying.
Instagram's actually new for me.
Really?
I did one video and it got like 90,000 views and I got like 1,000 followers from it.
That's amazing.
I was like, I ain't complaining. I am not complaining.
Like I did it.
Yeah, I did it. Now I'm a big kid on Instagram. Because I thought it takes a while to grow on Instagram too. Sometimes
it can, yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to me that almost a year to get to where I'm at right now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning into today's episode of The Salt Shaker. As always, all the ads and information about the Patreon and my affiliates are at the beginning of the episode, so you don't have to listen to them now. And we will see you next time on The Salt Shaker. Sammi, would you like to say goodbye?
Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for listening, and please follow all my socials and the story. I'm really excited, but thank you.
Yes. Everybody, we'll see you again next week.
Bye.